Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Night Live with Nick and LG. This is Nick, I'm LG. We're here with Steve Barclay, the general manager of the Viking. How's it going?
Good, how you guys doing?
Good. So I heard you had a bit of a busy day today?
Yeah, everything's just been kind of crazy ever since Friday morning. Friday morning, that's when we got the go-ahead that all restaurants are moving to phase 2. And that's basically when everything kind of hit the fan. It was like, all right, Here we go.
Were you able to get all your employees back, or you having to hire new staff, or?
No, we ended up having a meeting on the Wednesday before the Friday that we got the notice. And I was kind of tipped off. I was part of an association on Facebook about basically everyone was writing declarations to the mayor and to basically our lead officials in Spokane, and eventually leading over to our governor. They tipped off saying that it was possible that we might be opening it up on that Friday.
Okay.
So we had a full meeting on that Wednesday before, and we knew there was a slight chance that it was going to happen, so we really weren't 100% sure that it was going to go that way.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was like 10 in the morning, and everyone got word. So it was all hands on deck, let's go. But yeah, we had all of our employees ready to go. We got everyone back. We were very fortunate, especially looking at maybe some of the other restaurants and seeing that they were actually having some troubles getting a lot of their employees back.
Right.
Yeah. And obviously that was from the impact from everyone being on unemployment, waiting on standby to come back, and a lot of people making a lot of money on unemployment.
Yeah.
So everyone knowing that they're walking back in to only 50% capacity to the restaurant. That's what we love off of at the Viking is our lunches and our happy hour.
Right.
You know, we really didn't have a whole lot of takeout to rely on. Big on beer, so I mean, could have pushed a lot of beer possibly during the closure and whatnot, but there just wasn't a whole lot of chances for revenue and sales to go on during the closure. And that's for a lot of places too, I imagine. So, but yeah, with a lot of bars and employees coming back to work, they were making more money off of
We got some feedback here, boss.
off of unemployment than what their hourly wage was before the closure.
Right.
So a lot of people weren't coming back.
So for those who haven't been to the Viking, I know there's probably listeners that haven't been to the Viking. Tell us what the Viking is, what you guys do there. Are you guys more of like, because a lot of people don't know if they've never heard of it, if you're a martini bar, a pub, a dive bar, if you guys offer food. Tell us a little bit more about the Viking and what you guys do.
The Viking's been around for a long time, all the way back since the late 70s when it was up on the South Hill. Moved down to the location that's at right now that I run and my wife and our business partner own. Became the Viking down in our current location back in the mid 80s. One of the first micro beer bars in Spokane. They were the first ones to really introduce micro craft beer to Spokane. And it's still kind of our mantra. We do run right now as a full restaurant. We are all ages up until 9 p.m. And that's kind of our wheelhouse. We do great pub food, burgers, sandwiches, appetizers. Still have a great rotating selection of beers. But yeah, those are our major points that we hit on. We also do a lot with our community, lots of charity work. We also do lots of live entertainment. We like to work with the arts of Spokane, lots of live music. We've done tons of different galleries for actual local artists with painting and other different things too. But yeah, that's basically what you can find at the Viking.
Viking. I know personally, you guys do a lot of like huge events, a lot of big bands, stuff like that. Tons of events, and I know those bring in a lot of revenue from customers and everything like that. But due to COVID-19 and you guys weren't able to open, not having those events bringing in that income, how's that affected you guys?
It hurt a lot, especially when we were looking at record numbers. My wife Krista and myself, we've actually been part of the Viking for a long time. She's going past 11 years. I'm going past 7 years. And looking at some of the things that we were doing with the bar, with it being in our hands, I mean, we were doing great things. Looking at record numbers, like I said, we were heading into one of the busiest marches that we could have seen. Patty's Day is big for us with the parade. And then we were going to roll straight into NCAA with Gonzaga, actually possibly, which it was. I mean, they were actually going to be in our bracket in Spokane, and the arena is right next to the Viking. That would have been huge for us economically. So it affected us a lot, going from looking at what's going to be one of our best years to date, and then we're going to be closed for 2 months. That hurt.
Yeah, and that's like a lot of the bars and clubs. I mean, it took a toll on a lot of them, and a lot of them might not even open back up. So the Viking, so people know, right now you guys we're all at phase 2, so what do we expect when we go into your bar? Are we expecting half capacity? Are tables spread apart? What are we looking like when we walk into the place?
Yeah, we're following all the guidelines that are set in place. We were one of the few places that ended up closing for anything. We didn't do takeout. We didn't do any growler fills. We didn't do anything. We actually closed to the public March 17th. We tried 2 days of doing takeout, trying to sell whatever, gift cards, beer, whatever we could do, just to try and build some kind of revenue. And after a couple of days, we just kind of looked at each other. We decided that our best option was to just stop the bleeding. We knew that bills were going to stop. With making phone calls and being in compliance with a lot of the companies that we did. So Krista took it upon herself, called a bunch of places. They waived a lot of our bills for the upcoming months, which is fantastic. The only thing that didn't stop was the city. They wanted their money. So, but, we were fortunate. Like I said earlier, we had a really good January, really good February, was starting off to have a great March. So we were fortunate to actually have a decent savings to help us get through the couple months that we were closed. A lot of this stuff kind of came with how we were feeling about coronavirus and COVID-19 too. We weren't, I guess the biggest thing is we didn't have a whole lot of knowledge back then about what this virus even really was. Everything just seemed kind of like it hit really fast, hit our community, and then all of a sudden we had Patty's Day, which we weren't closed for Patty's Day yet, but it definitely wasn't even close to what we were used to. So I mean, it affected our whole community. But with the guidelines, when you can walk into the Viking, we're following all the guidelines. So 50% capacity, sanitation station where it's available to our patrons and for our employees as well. Everyone's wearing face masks that work there. That's what we have to do. That's what we're asked to do. For patrons, it's up to you guys if you want to wear a mask. That's kind of your guys' own agenda that you want to try and follow. But yeah, those are the guidelines that we have to do. Tables 6 feet apart, can't keep them together, can't move tables. We have everything taped off, so that's where your tables are supposed to stay. We closed down all of our games because it seemed like another headache that we'd have to deal with people kind of walking around and moving around, migrating to different areas of the bar. Trying to keep things sanitary. It would have been another hurdle that we would have to deal with. So
we had a bartender, Mason Bacon, here a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him the same thing, and I just kind of wanted your input on your opinion and kind of what your take was on it. What is your thoughts of the bars that are not complying and not doing the things that they should and are like, we're just opening, we don't care, we're just going to do what your thing in order to stay open? What do you think about that?
Way to fire from the hip, man.
I know, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's tough. I mean, I saw a lot of different things happening. I saw where the business was going for a lot of other people, and personally owned businesses. We had our stand on how we were going to do things. That's how we decided, the owners and managers, that we were going to run things for the Viking. Looking at other businesses, I can't pick and judge where those people were. I can only imagine how much money they put into certain establishments personally. I can only imagine how much money these guys had invested in their businesses. And when their backs are against the wall, people are going to do what they can to save their business, and it's either that or they file bankruptcy. So it's like, you gotta pick and choose, like, what you're gonna do for your own livelihood and what you have invested in it. And I guess when your back's against the wall and you only have two options rather than several options, you're gonna go one way or the other. And we kind of saw, like you talked about, closures of different restaurants. Some people decided to close rather than try and go against the order. And then you saw it the other way. Businesses opened and said, well, this is what we got and this is what we're going to do. So I think some of them took a political stance. I think some of them took a stance because they needed to open, otherwise they're going to lose their business. So how I feel about it is that it's not the way that I would go about things. It's just open, but also I'm not going to hold against them because they're going to lose everything they have if they don't. So I don't know.
Somebody playing a video game back there?
What was that? Sound like it's like a Genesis or something was going.
But yeah,
Jacob's playing on Donkey Kong on his computer while we're doing the podcast.
Is all this shit's boring.
Right. So now you've been through what, 2 owners now?
Yeah, well, I've been there. Let's see here. So with the old Viking, I helped reopen. And then with the new one, so my wife and then our business partner opened it up together.
Nice. Now, if I'm correct, your business partner would be Darren Talati?
No, we ended up buying him out within the first year. So he was part of the reopen, but that was very brief.
Okay, yeah, so that's old news.
Greg Healy's actually our other partner.
Okay.
Good guy. He's been around for a long time. Been friends for a long time. We bartended together. He worked at the Yak for a long time as well, so a lot of knowledge, a lot of his own personal experience that he brings to the table as well. So
nice, that's great.
It's been a great partnership all the way through so far. So
yeah, I did some work for Darren and his brother Tony back in the day when they had Talati's 211.
Okay,
it's actually one of the spots where I started DJing. I started getting my name out.
There you go.
Working down there, so it was a great opportunity for me. Great guy, so both of them, but but yeah, I was like, I kind of did some reading on it, and I was like, I didn't even know he was involved. I was like, oh wow, that's kind of cool, But with Spokane, it's a real tight knit community, especially like, with like bar staff, bar owners, like in our case, DJs. Back when I first started, like, it was pretty, cutthroat. It was like, you'd stomp on anybody's toes to get their spot. Undercut, all that kind of stuff, and that's one of the things that turned me off about DJing in nightclubs and stuff for quite a while. But then something just changed, and like Nick and myself, we're friends with, I'd have to say, at least 60 to 70% of the DJs and that are out playing right now. So we all feel comfortable, like if we want to go out, well, who's playing here? Okay, well, we'll go see them. We can go in, and a lot of the times, depending on how it's going, they'll have us jump on the turntables and do a set. And it's like I said, it feels like a more tight knit community involving bars and even bands these days. You got a guy that's sick. You need a drummer on the fly. You can call one of your buddies that's in another band. And they jump right in, and it's, and that's, to me, I think that's a good thing. There's not that hostility anymore. So it makes it, for me, it makes it feel a little bit more at ease to go into a lot of these establishments these days.
Yeah, no, definitely. Looking at what you're talking about too, especially back in the day, I mean, I think there was a lot of trendsetters back in the day, and there was a lot of people that were doing the same kind of thing and having like their DJ nights and ladies nights and whatnot. And I feel like there was almost like competitiveness that was back in the day. But nowadays, I think you're right, and I think a lot of it is just our we talk about our community and stuff, and I think everyone's actually growing up a lot more, and we're not as young as we used to be. And I think we all know that we need each other to kind of move forward and keep Spokane progressing and stuff too. So, but yeah, I know that I'm a complete different person 10 years ago than I am now.
Right. Yeah, me too. Now we had started talking earlier, which I actually kind of wanted to save it for here, but like we were stating, I was stating before, is like I've been checking out a lot of different places since everything started opening back up, and I've noticed that a lot of people are having issues with getting products for their businesses. Now we kind of hinted on
Just
it a little bit, and I
touched on
wanted
it,
to
yeah.
save it for here. So, so are you guys having the same issues?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, so another thing too, like looking at local, is like we're Spokane, but we're one city out of the whole nation. You're looking at big companies that had to shut down because of COVID-19, and all that does is just stops the supply to any other city in the nation.
Right.
You're looking at big companies like Foster's and stuff too. I mean, one of the biggest chicken providers. Now all of a sudden it's supply and demand, and the only way that other businesses can keep up is to keep producing and stuff. But all that does is make things more expensive when the competition starts moving and shifting a little bit. People start boosting their prices up and stuff because, like I said, supply and demand is where it goes. We just got back into this Friday, but had to start doing my price checks, looking at chicken, looking at beef. I mean, just ground beef alone went up 50%.
Right.
That's a big jump. But yeah, going on to beer and breweries. We're big on selling beer at our bar. Spokane basically had to stop bringing beer in from out of state as well, just because there wasn't a high demand for it. So basically our supply was getting cut. They can only bring a certain amount in each time. Now that, again, abruptly this last Friday, we're able to open up to 50% capacity, which means a lot of restaurants got to open up. We're behind now. Basically, when I order kegs and I order beer, I get allocated a couple, but I don't know if they're going to come in or not.
Right.
So it all just depends on who gets their order in first, how much of different products coming in on certain days. It's all just kind of up in the air.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I again, like I said, I'm with running around and scoping things out. I've kind of noticed it, and I'm not going to specify what places, because like I said, I've been to quite a few since they started opening.
Sure.
So, and I don't want to throw anybody into the bus, because that's just bad pool. Now I've noticed some of the prices have changed on their their menus. I've noticed prices increase for food, prices increase for drinks. Now, and I got to ask, just to be, because I got you here. Now, are your prices currently the same as they were before the pandemic, or did you guys? Okay, so you guys didn't change any of your prices. Okay, good. That's a good thing. When people, an establishment, they like to know, like for sake of argument, like I have a local bar 3 blocks from my house, and I like to go there. You get off work and you just kind of want to get a little mellowed out before you go home, and so when I go in, I have the mindset of okay, I'm only going to spend $20. I'm going to get 2 shots, 2 beers, and then a tip.
Good to go.
Yeah. And I've noticed that with trying to do that at other establishments, that's not happening now. So if I spend $20, I can get 2 beers and maybe a shot and a tip. And as well, it's worked at the Roadhouse for over 3 years. I was a bartender, bar back. I helped cook, DJ, did all the stuff. I think the only thing I didn't do was the books, which was a great place, but I understand the other side of the bar. I know that a lot of those people, pay their rent and their car notes, and childcare, with tips. So you want to try to take care of those people. But, like I said, if I have a set amount and I don't want to go over it, if people are raising the prices, then either I have to make a choice of one less drink to make sure that they get their money, or they end up getting less money in the end. So that's why I was, the whole curiosity. So
yeah, definitely. And that's another thing too. I think a lot of things are different. I'm sure that you've noticed too, ordering from whether it's Uber Eats or Postmates or whoever it was, they're trying to help in certain ways, whether they cancel out the delivery fee or the service fee is waived, or just so that you would actually order from certain places. But I think on the other side with bars that had to be closed for almost 2 months, or they saw like their revenue just basically drop down to nothing. Again, I think going back on their options, it's either they drown and their business goes away, or they gotta bump their prices up and try and cover costs from being closed, or basically eliminating all their walk-in business.
Right.
So, and I think a lot of places that got the reopen on Friday, they might be bumping their prices up to try and help cover some of that cost and stuff too. Because again, we're only cut down to 50% capacity.
Right.
You're looking at small places that only have a little bit inside, or they have no patio or nowhere to really push anyone. It's 50% capacity really isn't a whole lot, you know. Yeah, and I think that's probably where a lot of the price changes are probably going to come from.
Right. Yeah, I kind of hope that eventually. I mean, obviously, nobody was expecting this.
Yeah.
This is this is probably the first time we've had something like this in 100 years. So I get the idea, and I understand. I'm sympathetic, I mean, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not ranting and yelling about it, So I'm just kind of hoping that eventually when things calm down, maybe and it's kind of like and I hate to say it like that, but like the government with the current power they have, when everything calms down, are they going to give that power back? And so it kind of falls into that same thing. Well, we got people coming in right now that are paying X amount for this. When everything calms down, are they going to continue to pay X amount for this? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Right. So that's why I was like, all right. Now I actually grew up. I grew up in the West Central area.
Okay.
I went to North Central. Went to Glover. I worked at the arena for 8 years doing security. Okay. And I'll be honest, I've never actually been in the Viking.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just one of those happenstance things. I've heard nothing but good things by any means. It's just now that I live clear across town, it's like
And that's the other thing too. So we talked about prices. We kept everything the same. We wanted to see kind of how things were going to roll too. But no, we kept all of our prices the same. We still run happy hour. We still run daily specials. But we're a destination bar. So you talk about how you live on the other side of town. It's like, well, how are we going to get people to come stop by our bar? We don't get a whole lot of walk-in traffic unless something's happening at the arena. So it's basically just we have to compete. We have to keep our prices fair. We do provide a lot of live entertainment, whether it's live music, DJs. Stud's been there a couple times. And then trivia, bingo nights. We do all sorts of different things to try and bring people into our bar on our side of town.
Nice. Okay. Do you guys? Well, now that everything, I know you guys are still trying to wrap your head around everything and re-grease the wheels, the bearings,
Yeah.
Are you guys already planning on any kind of special events or anything throughout the end of summer?
As of right now, so I just looked up guidelines of what we're looking at moving into phase 3, moving into phase 4. Phase 3, we get 75% capacity. I was talking to our business partner Greg today about possibly in phase 3 bringing back our bingo, bringing back our trivia, bringing back some of our acoustic music nights, not our big band nights yet, just so that we don't overwhelm ourselves too and not be in compliance. But we do get 75% capacity that's inside and outside on our patio. We also get to have larger groups coming into our establishment too, so we can have 10 people or more, depending on how they flex things. But right now it's 10 people at least to large tables, which is great for us. But yeah, phase 3 I think is going to even open up more things for us as an establishment. Moving into phase 4, it seems like things are going to loosen up a lot. So I'm not sure what the guidelines are going to be yet for either phase yet. That's actually set in stone yet, because obviously these things keep moving around what we can and can't do day by day. But phase 3, it looks like we'll be bringing more of that stuff back into the bar. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, I'm kind of a trivia guy too, so
nice.
Movie buff, TV, music, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. No, I'm just curious.
I'm the same way though. I love it.
Yeah. I think last week we were talking about movies that that these guys have never even heard of that I actually own.
Okay. Yeah.
I got on a rant with Amazon and that just didn't go well. But anyway, so now with your trivia, do you guys actually have somebody come in for the trivia, or are you guys using like Tab TV or anything like that?
Yeah, we use Ben Trivia. Been with them. It's Jonathan Bingle. It's his company, him and his wife's company. Been with them for, let's see here, 3 years, and then probably over 6 years now at least, using the same company. They've always been fair with us, always been great, always been on time. I can't say the same for myself for today.
I was trying not to say anything.
But they're great though. I mean, they're super professional about how they run things, how they do things. They go by the book, so we don't ever have to worry about any kind of legal issues with giving away liquor or shots or whatever during these games and stuff. You can't do for bars.
Right.
So I mean, they're really great. They're highly educated on what they can and can't do, and they've always been professionals. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we're about to run out of time, so we're going to wrap it up. We want to thank you for coming out. Tell everybody where you're from again, what your signature drink is, how to find you guys.
Oh yeah. 1221 North Stevens. I'm Steve. I'm the general manager of the Viking, Spokane's original micro beer bar. So if you want a good beer, come see us. We run happy hour 2 to 6 p.m. every day, all day Sunday. Great food, great burgers, great sandwiches, and great service.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Yeah, excellent. That's a good way to go. Steve, pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Thanks again for watching, guys. Yeah, thanks for, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Perfect.
I'm good.
Thanks, guys.